Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Supernatural, The Foundry. And I overall enjoyed this episode, though it's kind of starting to get into the filler territory at the moment. There were some plot developments, but it was your typical monster hunt of the week for the Winchester portion, and then actual kind of hunting of Lucifer with Cassio and Crowley. So with the Winchesters, they're still kind of trying to figure out kind of more stuff about the British men of letters, but at their bunker they only had one note inside of a ledger that was pretty much all blacked out. I'm like, well, that's pretty much all we got. And Mary comes up and she has found a case of a couple that was killed in a house and that they should go and like figure out what's going on with it. Go on a hunt. And Sam's a little bit worried, like, that's kind of what we usually do as a family. Instead of confronting stuff, we usually bury ourselves in a hunt and not deal with what's going on. Dean's like, no, this is what she needs. We need to support her. And this was kind of cool to kind of see the aspects of Mary that are similar to both Sam and Dean. The Dean portions are like with the food, with the bacon and the jerky and that kind of stuff. Whereas she's also got Sam capabilities as she's kind of more caring and more thoughtful for people. As we see, as they go to the morgue and they're kind of like talking with the autopsy guy, and he's like, well, the weird thing is they've got frostbite and their hearts are frozen. How do I explain that? It's like, okay, this is interesting. So they go to the house, they're kind of looking around, and Mary gets locked in the room that the couple was locked in. And she gets grabbed on the arm by this ghost of a child. And they start kind of looking in and find that a little boy had died there. And they think, oh, this is open shut. We just got to go salt and burn the bones. And that'll be the end of it. And Mary was kind of surprised at how fast it was with the computers and everything. And you could see she had trouble processing it because she's like, this is completely different than how we used to do it. And she'd have to actually go to places, kind of use interpersonal skills and all that. And Sam and Dean go off to salt and burn the bones while Mary kind of digs a little bit deeper, talking on the phone. This is where her caring side comes out, and she's talking with the mother of the dead child and kind of getting more information and all that, and that they find out later on that there was a father and daughter, and that the father had lost his child at that house as well. And it's like, okay, let's kind of see where this is going. So she goes in there on a hunch because she doesn't think that this is just the child. So they salt and burn the bones, but she's in there and she can see the child and something's quite up. And she goes in the basement and they find out that the father had buried himself alive and was the one that was capturing children and killing anybody getting near his kind of haunting ground, because he wanted these children to make up for his daughter. So that's where she finds that out and is trying to fight him, but Sam and Dean come in to kind of save the day. But it kind of gets a little bit more complicated because then the father ghost possesses Mary and they have to fight her while trying to figure out where his body is. So Sam goes down to the basement and is able to crack it open and salt and burn the bones really fast, but Mary could understand kind of what was going on with the pain with him, and that's kind of the pain that she's got after the hunt. She's talking to them, and she's like, I'm still kind of mourning you boys, and John, because she came back and the world's completely changed. She didn't have time with Sam and Dean when they were children. She didn't have that time also with John, and now those little kids are gone, and do they really need her in the world and all that? And of course, we kind of know that because she provides something to them that I don't think she quite realizes yet, which is why she kind of goes off to try and process everything that's been going on. Of course, that pisses Dean off, and he has to act kind of like how John would kind of act, whereas Sam's kind of like, alright, fine, do your thing. Sam's more kind of accepting of it, that she needs time to process, where Dean's like pissed off, like, no, you need to stay here and everything. And it's gonna be kind of interesting to see what kind of comes from that. How Mary kind of like figures out her place in the world, how she deals with such a giant loss of time of being dead that long. So that was a pretty good but fairly routine part of the episode. Then we get into the interesting stuff of like Castiel and Crowley. And this was kind of Cass's hunt as well. And we've seen him mimicking stuff that the Winchesters have been doing, but it was kind of cool seeing him do it on his own as he was going, asking about Vinny and all that, like saying his name was Agent Beyonce, and it was just amazing seeing him say it with a straight face and get this information from his bandmates and all that. And as he's going out, and Crowley's like, "Oh, well, what am I, Jay-Z then?" And it's just great seeing them paired together, just the bouncing of everything. How it's like, well, you're gonna need help finding him. I need help as well, so might as well team up. And seeing Cass doing his thing at the truck, and Crowley's like, "Oh, come on, just pick a place and talk." So they go off and they actually find Vinny's sister, who's miraculously up walking now, and they're like, what's going on with that? And she's like, well, he came here and he was kind of weird and all that. And she almost didn't volunteer this information. Crowley was about to go bad cop on her, but Cass is like, no, just tell us what's going on. And she even felt that it was off and that he did the miracle like it was nothing, like Lucifer was begrudgingly doing this, which also kind of shows a kind of change in character for Lucifer, in that usually he wouldn't do that kind of stuff for a vessel, which that would be interesting for them to explore that kind of part of Lucifer, hopefully, within the show, that he's kind of changing a little bit. I mean, it's a small thing, but those small things can lead to differences of, like, changing of view. And while that's going on, Lucifer is using Rowena to try and strengthen his vessel, because, of course, the only one great vessel that he needs is Sam, and that's not going to happen, so he wants Rowena to strengthen it to hold him, and she said that she was going to do that, and then made it, that was a spell that would completely decay his body, and then banished him to the bottom of the ocean. So Lucifer's out of the picture at the moment, and it was really kind of strange how fast that kind of happened, that Rowena was able to get out of his thumb and just kind of be like, okay. And that's then a point Castiel and Crowley came in and be like, well, okay, you were able to do that. So when we find him again, just help us seal him away. And she's like, alright, I got that. No, in her Rowena-ish ways, it's like, you'd be better off without Lucifer running around. Okay? And stop trying to screw with Crowley. I mean, you're powerful. Don't hurt anybody. Just do your stuff. But of course, wants her own power, wants to have her own kind of thing. So we'll see how long that takes for staying out of the sight and out of sight and everything, and see if she'll actually try and make another like super coven like she had, because like Crowley, she wants to be powerful and be kind of at the center, but still stay in the shadows. So we'll kind of have to see where that goes. But those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.